I recollect what Thiruvananthapuram MP, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, wrote last February 2025. He said, the changing face of Kerala, from a lumbering jumbo to a lithe tiger. That was the title of his article. I fully appreciate his non-partisan or a bipartisan statement, wherein he underscored the huge leaps Kerala is taking. Since Sabri hasn't heard what I said, should I repeat that? Yeah. I said what Shashi Tharoor spoke about Kerala last year. See, നമ്മൾ ഈ വികസനത്തെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ Shashi Tharoor, what he spoke last year, but this year after the ceasefire thing, High Command, I don't know what he would be talking anyway. That's a different topic. See, Kerala used to be a low per capita, high social indices state a few years back. We had a low per capita, but our social indices were robust. That was the Kerala's picture a few years back. Now we have high per capita, more than the national average, could be 6th or 7th if we take the large states. So this is a huge leap which our state has done. Now as moderator asked me, I need to respond to him also, how we should tread ahead. I feel that the stability that has been ushered in for last 10 years should help us to move ahead, to consolidate our gains. I was just doing a conservative calculation with regard to the investment of Kerala in basic infrastructure last 7-8 years. 3.5 lakh crore has been invested across Kerala, and South Kerala also is part of that investment. The major investment, as you know, National Highway, then the Hill Highway, Coastal Highway, Waterway, LNG Terminal, then major projects like Vizhinjam Port. Apart from, Shri Balagopal would be in a position to underscore what I say so. So all put together, something like 3.5 lakh crore has been invested. As you are all pioneers of business and industry, it has to be multiplied with 6. Isn't it, Shri Balagopal? It has to. That means something like 20 lakh crore impact is going to happen to the Kerala economy. This is the one vertical on which any government, whether my government if it continues or any other government which may come, and I fully feel that, strongly feel that my government will repeat. That's my political stand. Of course, my wish too, and aspirations of many of those people who have gathered here. So if we can consolidate this gains, that itself would catapult us to a different level altogether. Vizhinjam, I was having an interaction with the Minister of Port in Delhi. He was saying that it would be something like 25,000 crore investment in Vizhinjam. And already the Kerala government has brought in a growth triangle connecting Vizhinjam through Kollam, Koilon to Pudanur. 1,000 crores have been allocated. Let me just come to the final points, how it is going to help the southern Kerala. And you know the waterway, the first stretch has been inaugurated yesterday. The ring road, which is in the offing, the metro, which is in the offing, the hill highway, which has touched this part of the territory also. So all this put together, I think that will take southern Kerala to a different level altogether. Now, There are certain other infrastructure projects which are in the offing, like Shabari Railway, which also is going to bolster the development of southern Kerala. Then Shabari Airport, I don't know why the High Court of Kerala asked a question which according to me is stupid. Why do you want this much of land? Now every airport in the country is a growth center. I was looking at the Jewar Airport in UP. They are bringing electronic park as part of the airport. So the High Court, I don't know whether they are not seeing the larger vision of an airport, how it should be. And these are the concrete plans which are in the offing, which should definitely help us to enrich the growth which we have already achieved. Now the ecosystem of startups, which I refer to the article of Shashi Tharoor. See, there's a huge investment, Shri Balagopal would say, about the medical park, which he is aware of, which he has intrinsically invested his time and energy into. So many initiatives apart from the tourism sector, we have a buoyancy on that. IT sector, the new campus is coming. So all this put together should help the southern Kerala to navigate to a different level. Now, what are our challenges? That also, Raghu, I'll just briefly, conclude in 2 minutes just to put across that. We need to understand our challenges too. The challenges is that the demographic dividend which we used to enjoy, that is disappearing. Simply means we are going to have an aging population. That youngsters, the number of youngsters that is dwindling. Now, the land scarcity, the land price, the climate change, the fragile nature of our state, how the sea is eroding into us, all these are challenges which also need to be looked into. But I feel that last few years have been, inverted comma, tremendous according to me, because it has done huge bolstering of our infrastructure, and all that we have achieved need to be taken to the second level, and that would help southern Kerala, of course Kerala also, to achieve a position which would be envious to many of the people. And in this respect, I will also remind my senior colleague, my friend, Mr. Muralidharan, that, see, these are areas where the state governments and the central government need to collaborate. See, for huge infrastructure projects, unless you have the support of the central government, it is very difficult. Not only for resources, but also for other facilitation. So I look up to the party which is governing the country also to pitch in so that many of the ambitious aspirational projects we have can be implemented, can be converted into reality.
But what is happening in Kerala is that we have today about 25 lakh odd unemployment in the list, and we got about 35 lakh migrant workers working here. That means we have the jobs here, but our boys are not willing to take up their jobs. These migrant laborers are probably transferring about 42. This money should have been circulated within Kerala. So, is it because our education policy is wrong? I don't know. That is something we have to check. I think this is where I think, what I understand is that our syllabus are all outdated. There's no doubt about it. Nobody is willing to change. The teachers union and professors unions are very strong. They will not like to take a change in the syllabus. Because if they take a change in the syllabus, they have to learn first and then only teach. They are not willing to learn, number one. Now, I think with the Kerala government coming up with the private university bill, we are looking forward that will you get foreign university campuses in Kerala so that our children will not migrate out for studies. At the same time, we can upgrade the jobs here so that our children can take up the jobs. This is something we'd like to hear from Sri Brittas.
Thank you, Raghu. See, let us not be under the impression that private university or foreign university is a panacea for all our problems in the higher education. Many of the good universities across the globe are public universities, not private universities, or funded by trusts. Now, I do agree with the moderator, Rigu, that we need to do a lot on the higher education, undoubtedly. We have reformed the basic education, school education, and the schools in Kerala are better than those schools in the developed world now. All smart classrooms. But we are unable to match that growth that has happened in the school education at the university level. Now, as Sri Muralidharan said, see, the basic goal for this state should be skilling our youngsters. We need to impart skill education. And the government of Kerala has been talking about that also. Now, let me offer a different point of view, because education should not be a central topic at all, because I believe that a country with rich diversity shouldn't be triggered from Delhi. Many a time the policies that come from Delhi, where it is on A or B, may not be conducive or suitable for a state. You can see with regard to the centrally sponsored schemes also, because Kerala may be punished because of the performance or achievements we have, because we have already crossed the threshold. So just having a uniform educational structure will not be suitable for many of the states. Now, Regu, I am not perturbed or worried about migration, because many a time people talk in terms of people are going. That's okay. That is part of the social capital of Kerala. See, the remittance that comes to Kerala is last year it was 2,14,000 crore. Altogether, the country received a foreign remittance of say 12 lakh. Out of 12 lakh crore, 2 plus came to Kerala. And see, the moment people go migrate somewhere, that expertise also can come back to Kerala. That is something that is happening. Now, in many sectors, we can visibly see a reverse migration. Many industrialists are here, they will tell you. I have come across many people in Kochi and Trivandrum who have come back from even developed countries. So I am not worried about migration at all, because we used to migrate. We used to migrate always, either to Colombo or to Sri Lanka or to Malaysia. We used to do that. So there is no harm in that. And that is the result of the semi-skill we have imparted to the people or the youngsters or the education. So we should be happy about that. But the point is simple. How to reform the higher education, that is a challenge for us. Now you know what has happened. Mr. Muralidharan rightly said that all these universities were set up by the statutes passed by the state assemblies. You said so. But the unfortunate part is that it has been hijacked by the governor now. All those universities which we built. No, it's okay. Which we.
It's not hijacked. Because you couldn't manage that.
I didn't interrupt you at all. So we shouldn't make a parliament. So no, my point is very simple.
Hijacked, then it will be.
That's okay.
I'll have to consider it.
That is a vocabulary of my choice. Of course, nowadays, no, when you get your turn, you can of course rebut it. So my point is simple. My point is very simple. See, we need to do a lot of things in higher education, undoubtedly. And we have that plan also. Kerala government has been telling that. And one of the challenges is the lack of skills. And I also differ with Regu when he said in terms of migrant workers. But Regu, we don't call them migrant workers. They are guest workers. Yeah. You are one person who is hiring many of the guest workers. So why should we be worried about that? Because our people are working in other countries. So why we should be that xenophobic about people coming to Kerala? That's okay. That's a different thing. See, many a time when you have a chance to have a better job, they will not pick up those mundane jobs. That is absolutely happening. See, those people who are working in many sectors in US or Europe, Those people who are natives of that place may not be picking those jobs. So, if we are received everywhere, we shouldn't be having a difficulty of receiving people from other states. I think that is not a broader perspective which an industry body like yours should uphold. Actually, we should welcome them. They are also contributors of our economy. And I do agree, the general consensus is that we need to reform the higher education, just as we did in the case of the schooling, that means school education. And miles to go, of course. We all need to hold our hands together.
I think Shabri.
No, can I add one thing?
Yeah, please.
See, if we look at the arithmetic, 42,000 crores was sent from Kerala to other states. And we received more than 2 lakh crores. So ultimately we benefit.
Why you got 2 lakh crores? Because there was a.
No, I will, because I will compare.
The dollar rates have gone up. That is why you are getting 2,14,000 crores.
Despite the fact
Not that you are getting that.
Despite the fact he wants to create a problem between Mr. V. Muralidharan and myself, we are on the same floor.
Now comes in that we are going to get jobs. Okay, let us assume that we are all killing them and trying to get them jobs in all industry, whether it's tourism, whether it's healthcare, whether it's going to be MSME, whether startups and all that. What is the biggest hitch here today? We are sitting in a state which is about 96 lakh acres. After all the developments, CRZ, that, this and all that, you are left only with 12 lakh acres as on today. There is no master plan for this particular 12 lakh acres. So what happens is that today anybody coming to invest in Kerala, the biggest challenge is getting property, land. And without a land, how do you do business? So we need to have a land use policy. They have another restriction called Urban Land Ceiling Act, which is also there. At the same time, we are now digitalization. I mean, the survey digitalization is going on, so which means everything is going to be cadastral mapping and all that. But here the biggest challenge is getting the land. And this is the challenge because you want more industry to come. You can't depend on central government for every fund to come in. And every time you can't blame, like the carpenter blaming the tool, you can't blame the center that you're not getting funds, so we can't work. That is, we have no money to do anything. But the Kerala government has come up with a new scheme like KIPP, and they've been able to carry out work. But the question is, now you have a state where you are land starved, almost you're getting into a land starvation level. What will be your policy on urban land ceiling? What will be your policy on how these lands can be put to use? If new industries are coming, are you coming out with a master plan to ensure that the zonings are done very defined and only vertical growth can take place because there's no land? And the building rules have to change, which already is changed. And we have to relook at it and all this. CRZ is there because they have to bring down the CRZ limits. Because Kerala, we are losing land, like, as you all know, 96 lakh acres, and of this CRZ of 590 kilometers, 44 rivers with 2,800 kilometers, CRZ, 1,950 kilometers of backwaters, about 2 lakh, almost 3 lakh of road network, 1,050 railway network, all these things if you take together, 30% forests and everything, and you today it with 12 lakhs, in short. Now what will be your policy? Because how do we get, so example, you have the Arivikara, we want to really increase the storage of the reservoir, but your forest department say you can't. Now in a state like this, we are restrained by so many central rules and all that. In what way can you play a role which can try to relax these things for states like where we are land starved?
Thank you, Ridu. I do agree. That's why in my opening remarks I said the biggest challenge Kerala has is the scarcity of the land and also the price of the land. These are the challenges. Having said that, I feel that the government can be a facilitator to provide land for industries, business houses, and I do agree with the proposition of Sri Muralidharan. We cannot accommodate large industries. We cannot, afford to do that. See, our infra parks have been very effective. And we managed to acquire something like 2,000 acres plus for an airport in Kannur. And if the High Court reviews decision, of course, we'll have another airport in Shabarimala. The other day only, the government of Kerala distributed land in that Vellur newsprint premise for rubber factories to come up. So, government needs to be a facilitator. To a certain extent, government has been facilitating, at least for IT, tourism and other certain sectors. Our techno park, techno city, info parks have been very successful also. And many of those companies like TCS or all these companies are very happy, and they are much more happier than where they are operating elsewhere. That also need to. And Raghu, he has been one champion of this change of building rules. I am surprised that the moderator is silent on that.
I'm not saying.
You know why? Kerala government changed the building rule, and you have the best or the maximum FAR in Kerala,
Highest in the country.
highest in the country. See, this is something which you should have complimented the government at least. So, no, the government has been trying the zoning also with the cooperation of the government of India. The ZRS issue has been resolved in many of the places. There are still many villages or panchayats. Our proposal is pending. See, our rural buoyancy, the rural spend in Kerala is the highest in the country. Highest in the country. And even the urban spend. We don't have a Delhi or we don't have a Mumbai or Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad. But even then, we are fourth or fifth. Despite not having such a mega cities, Kerala's urban spend also is fifth or sixth. So I feel that though there are scarcities and issues with regard to land, government being a principal facilitator, we can do that. Tourism, one point, the target of the government has been, we should match the population of Kerala. That was the target of the left government. We have the population of Kerala is 3.5 crore. But now we have achieved 2.58 crore tourists came to Kerala. 2.58. It's something like 25 lakh increase. It's a big number. The number of resorts, number of tourist spots, B&B, Airbnb, which are coming up in a big way in many of the places, even remote locations, is something, I would say, case study how Kerala is growing. And land has never been a scarcity. And I feel that the number of buildings, the houses, the flats are much more than those people who are dwelling there. So if we can have a planned choreography of the usage of those vacant houses and flats for the tourism sector, the issue of the scarcity of land to a certain extent can be tackled.
Now, what I'm saying is, government, why can't government locate a good property somewhere, put up the cameras there, shift out all these demonstrators there, instead of why do you trouble the poor people and also the poor investors? You have an investor coming here is unable to travel. You just look at the traffic blocks.
Now some uncomfortable questions came, then Shabari is asking me to respond.
I can give an answer.
No, I can tell you one. No, I can tell you one. It's a suggestion for action, actually. It's a
I
suggestion.
have a real answer too.
It's a suggestion for action. I can also tell you one thing. I mean, many a time people have asked me, why do you want to have a stadium in the heart of the city? You need to expand. Or other facilities need to be taken to the outer layer. So we can plan about that. And we can actually make sure that all the government offices which are scattered in the city, there are so many government offices here and there, we can bring them under a roof. We can even think of that. The only thing is that we need to have a general consensus on such issues. Otherwise, he will jump up, he will jump up. Tomorrow, John Brittas' party is going to shift out the secretariat to somewhere. But we don't want to have such controversy. Let us have a consensus on such issues. If at all everybody is on board with regard to shifting certain critical functions to a place where all can commute and all can come, a second city can be built, or of course that will bring it.
സമരം മാറ്റുമെന്നാണ്.
No, of course, that is it. that will bring investments also.
Yes, sir.
I'm feeling that will bring
See,
investment.
what is happening is, you must understand, I think all the three of you must understand, central government is doing.
Please understand.
Yeah, I think you can answer that point.
Raghu, this is a hyper state. In the sense, I mean, each and
The
every.
hyper state
No,
to go down.
please understand, each and every item will invite so much of discussions and debate.
Rajat, the reason
Yeah,
why
so unless such decisions are backed with consensus amongst the stakeholders, it will be difficult for A party or B party or A government to take such decisions.
Let me give-
But it's a good suggestion.